How you doing? My name is Ivan Pavletic, with my son Nikola Pavletic here, and in American English it would be known as Ivan Pavletic. So, yeah, every couple of weeks my son and I do stuff like take videos of me drawing or something, I don't know, I guess educational during this COVID-19 time period. So what I'm going to do today, what I want to do is something kind of like, multitasking, multiple things at the same time. So I saw somebody posted a video of me on YouTube, I guess, from a few weeks or so ago, where I was talking at like multiple different dialects and accents and multiple different sounds and tones. And I found it interesting because I haven't seen that video in a long time, and it was like from, I don't know, about 6 years ago. So I was thinking, why don't we do that? Why don't we just draw stuff and actually talk with different dialects? So who should I start with? Usually the one, my probably favorite, Mr. Bond, James Bond. So as a lover of film and film history, as you all know, back in the 1960s, I started as a certain spy, counter spy, by the name of Bond, James Bond. But I never fully enjoyed the part, as it somehow just did not have what I wished for. So it wasn't until 1974 that I actually found myself in a movie, a film by the name of Zardos. I grew a stash, sort of like a handlebar inside stash, and I wore this kind of like a spandex bikini looking thing, and I thought I would find myself until a British fool by the name of Sacha Baron Cohen made fun of it in the movie Borat, where he grew a stash in the same kind of bikini. Well, this was about 30 years after the great Zardos. I could never really be the man I actually saw myself as being back in 1974. So, going from Sean Connery, and there is a certain thing about this kind of like dialect, and then back in the 30s and 40s in like Atlantic, so I think it was called Mid-Atlantic dialect, Cary Grant and etc. But it was really brought to life by Katharine Hepburn and like Jimmy Stewart. Now Jimmy Stewart, for instance, had something very similar to this, and it sort of sounded like Sean Connery, but slightly higher pitched and a little bit like dumbified. Sort of think of a dumb, like, yeah, well, I'm Jimmy Stewart. Back in the day, in the 1930s, like the golden days of Hollywood, we would do things that these new generations today have no even idea. Yeah, well now they want this and a little bit of that, and yeah, I never thought it would be as demanding. And and it's interesting, is what I started mentioning Katharine Hepburn as Kate Blanchett portrayed her in the movie Aviator, which I thought was really phenomenal, because Kate Blanchett and Katharine Hepburn, they have something masculine in their sound, in their demeanor, and which was interesting because Kate Blanchett portrayed Bob Dylan, who sort of has a feminine voice sound to him, which actually worked out really well, and she did a phenomenal job. And but yeah, it was, what's the name? Dick Cavett. Back in the 70s, like late 60s, early 70s, Dick Cavett had like interviews with, and it was Katharine Hepburn, and kind of Catherine Hepburn would be sort of like in the older age, sort of shaking. Yeah, and I heard, I came and saw this play in the theater, and this man farted, and the smell came towards me, and I was naturally flabbergasted by. Okay, I can't do it because I would have to shake, and it's hard to do it on the video. But when you have actual microphone, when you're doing ADR, it's kind of different. But yeah, talking about this kind of like not Midwest, Northeast U.S. kind of sound. Here's a character I sort of created called Michael from, I don't know, maybe Newport. And it's kind of like this condescending, passive-aggressive asshole we want to hate. So, yes, my name is Michael, and I'm a writer and a poet and an artist all over. You see, it's not that my father was a wealthy man and had a lot of money. It's that I just don't like talking about money. I mean, I like to feel life through my heart. And as such, I find it really interesting that everybody talks about material world, but I believe that such an idea is just overdone in this kind of like a way that we have to think about these material, really boring things. And I totally feel awesome when I'm free to not worry about, not to mention that this a-hole never had a job in his life or had to worry about rent or anything like that. But it's a character I came up with. Anyways, but yeah, we're talking about different dialects and accents and stuff like that. So talking about, let's say, English accents. So let's go over the pond to like Britain, and we can start with like. So there are multiple different aspects of British accents. So let's start with that Shakespearean kind of 18th century, 19th century. Fitzgerald's Court Commander of the British Equatorial Waters of Southern Madagascar. I hereby, Court Commander, state that I shall personally supervise and circumnavigate the globe until I find the likes of this mutineer by the name of Fletcher Christian. And hereby, furthermore, I give you my pledge that I shall make sure that their necks stretch longer to their tongues when they hang from the Tower of London. Which now brings me, Nico, you might like this, my son. Henceforth you shall be known as Darth Vader. So there's that kind of like 18th century, 19th century Shakespearean, and then you have more that modern day, BBC, British Airways, flight 444 leaves today at 1600 hours at gate 35A. And next on BBC today, we're going to go to our partner and sister channel, Eurosport, where you shall hear the news about Manchester United and Juventus Milan. Which, by the way, Nico, Manchester United sucks lately, right? What is your favorite team? Okay. All right, and then, so there's also one interesting thing about that. A pattern I've noticed, that Brits have a tendency of knowing what Americans want, and I don't know why this is, but Americans tend to like, there's something interesting, like Americans tend to be flabbergasted by British accents. So as soon as they hear a British accent, there's this subconscious element of automatically thinking that it's better. Now Brits figured this out, so Brits, and I've noticed that when I spent some time in London, actually, Peckham, when yeah. When they hear Americans, then they will talk the way Americans want to. When the way Americans sort of have this kind of a fairy tale version of British, fit for those British Airways, BBC, this kind of like. Whereas in reality, when Americans leave and you hear the same Londoners speaking to each other, it ends up being more like a believing, it's more like, oh yeah, I have the bloody evidence, and I mean, you spent 3 days and 4 nights in the middle of bloody fucking Peckham Avenue, and I will see you in the morning. So there's this kind of like only fools and horses reality of what it really is. And for some reason, it's like, it's... Brits know this, and they take advantage. And then you have, like, talking about, let's say, British House. Then you have, let's go a little bit up north. Now, here's an interesting concept and regarding phonetics. Now, language itself, be that Slavic, Germanic, Balto-Slavic, Romance, Latin, Anglo-Saxon, which, Indo-European languages, let's say. It's not the language, it's the phonetics that change. So I'm going to do an example where the actual mother of the language, being in the European language, is not what makes the language a certain way. It's actually the phonetics of the people who speak it. So I'm going to talk in a way that northwestern Croatia talks, as a region of Zagorje. And I'm going to do something to prove my point. Okay, so I'm going to talk now in northwestern Croatian. Ja, vrotaskul. Ja, mašina na hokla, kad Bog zapoveda, to zvuk nije baš prave. Bete to ostavili auto za jedno par uri, pa bete se vratili nazad in mina rektama. And then I just translated into English and I transferred it and I just continue talking in English, right? As you've noticed, I haven't really changed anything in my phonetic levels. I'm just talking in a different language. So it starts sounding like that. It's like an Armageddon squirrel. Squirrels fucking in the middle of an Armageddon. McIndris clan. She just talked Scottish like that. So I haven't really changed much. And now I just go transfer, vratim se nazad na tak zagorska, kako prepovedam. Pa nije da kiše dori vone. Za par uri tu sunce grebe, te se lepo prošetali tu prek ceste, bo popeljem narehtala gamešta I tako ima poralog, pa te se vratili 300 kuna. So here's the point. Same phonetic level, same dialect, same speech, just different language. So there are multiple aspects of that. Now, the thing about this is, so you have the Irish, which is, and mind you, please, a lot of people from these native countries, if they hear you actually talking like them, they automatically connect it as you're mocking them. So nobody likes when you actually talk in their kind of accent. But as an actor, we actors are sort of kind of like freaks in a way, so that's what we do. So the Irish is a little bit different because it has more of a melodical sound, it's like rap and paper, so going from that harsh Scottish kind of sound, which is more monotone like that, you go in more of a higher pitched, which is more of a happy kind of a, the difference between Dublin and Belfast, but so there are nuances which are different, but it really comes down to more of a musical aspect of it, And and then I mean, as when it comes to like English, so there are different possibility. So different possibilities. So let's say something interesting, which is similar to like don't touch the interior because so something interesting like which is similar to London, but it has emphasis on the syllables. So like the ends of the sentences sort of have like a exclamation point, right? Which is really Australian, right? So like a word water, right? It's water. Now you take a little bit of salt, right? You mix it up with beer, right? You add water on top of it, but you wait for about a couple of minutes, right? You take a tail of a scorpion, right? You bite it off. But you have to be very careful because if you swallow the venom, I mean, they might make problems, right? Now you put that bit inside on the top of your tongue. You take the beer, right? You swallow it, right? and you might make sure you don't swallow the actual venom. And I'm telling you, your pecker will stand for days. Now, okay, so now here's a trick. So you have New Zealand, which is Kiwis. New Zealand has an interesting. It sounds like Australian, but they have a little. It's like the way they will say it's like house for the house. So in Australia, it'll be more like my house. Whereas in New Zealand, they'll have something with. It's just nuance, but it's like house is what it is, and it's as I said, you got to be sort of careful because if you go too far, and I've gotten in trouble for fucking around, and I would like talk in different accents and stuff like that, and yeah, sometimes people don't, even if you're doing it right, and you might be on the money with certain things, they don't necessarily like it, you know. So the whole thing is, you know, it's and then okay, so let's change it up a bit. Let's go to Central Europe, for instance. Okay, Central East Europe. So I was just talking in Zagorski dialect, and let's talk in. So I'm from the city of Karlovac. Znači Karlovac, they talk like this. So Karlovac ovako pripoveda. Znači nema tu neke dosta monotono i nema tu nekih spika ovako, kad bi rekao, evo, kaj bi te zgutali, daj nešto richte, pa idemo doma. It's sort of a monotone way. And then, I don't know, let's see a dialect. And this I'm doing for people from like Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, former Yugoslavia. Let's go a little bit, let's go totally east. Let's go Belgrade. Evo, Belgrade. Ajde da sam malo. Evo, pusti još malo. Šetajući ulicama Beograda, ja ugledao sam jednu trebu iz daleka. Čovječe, imala je noge kao ularoge. A dobro treba, jebate. Ja počeo s njom da tako malo pričam i došao neki frajer, dečko, ne znam točno što bi bio. Ali eto, počeo tamo da mi se preti, pesnicom docnije da će on da ofurati nekoliko sablji. Ja mislim, čoveče, pa što je ovo, 17. vek, jebate, Turci, ćeš ti mene sa sabljom, pa ja sam čovječe naduvan, nema zeba. Uzoru rano poranili Turci, po kaldermi vuku im seku sablje, hajde čoveče, nemoj zebavat. Malta, ne mogu da verujem da bi tako nešto moglo da se dogodi u 21. veku. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, it's a little bit difficult to jump from dialect to dialect, so, Dalmatinci, Gospodje, če sam ti ja govorio, lipo sam ti rekao, Duje Dragonja, krvovo dite. Ne može čovjek da, pa nisam ja govorio tako da čovjek ne može da pliva. Duje Dragonja, to je. You see, here's the problem. Tu je sad problem. Here's one problem. I was going with one dialect and then I transferred into a completely different dialect and then the elements of the former dialect gets intermixed. And that's sometimes the problem with doing very different dialects. Here, let me try Central Bosnia or something. Check it. Aj, ti si dobar dečko, Niko, jebo. Aj, Niko, kako sam ja ono kažem? Aj, Niko, ti si dobar dečko, ne jebo, Bog, znaš, jeba ja sliku svoju, znaš, ne možeš ti tak zebat mene, znaš, nisam ti ja jučer rođen, ja tu nekoliko evra ja platio da mi čovjek tu dođe prodavati, nisam ja u Minkenu rifljao za groc na batini, znaš, nemoj tak dečko, nije to. Also, going back to Zagorje, which a lot of people from Bosnia, Serbia, and etc., Dalmatia too, think that Zagorje dialect that I was talking to earlier is just like Zagreb. Zagreb, from the capital of Croatia, has a different dialect, which is kužiš fakat, nemoj me jebat, kužiš. I lijepo sam ti rekao, daj kulušiš njemu i tak zajebavat, jebate pasvirit, bejmo išit nazad pa bomo pripovedali s čovjekom, pa platio, kužiš, jebi ga, ne? That's something like that. That would be more Zagreb, but let's keep it more English. So my personal favorite of like English or all American English dialects is of course fucking Brooklyn. You know, get the fuck out of here. I mean, when you just say the fucking word, get the fuck out of here, it's like it's the most beautiful saying in the American English. You know. Forget about it, get the fuck out of here. You know, I gotta fucking make a living, you know, I got bambinos to feed, you know, I gotta do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, you can't fucking do everything, you know, you gotta make everybody happy, you know, what the fuck, I got these, bucket bags, inspectors inspecting shit, fucking pencil pushers from the, you know, yeah, you know, and what the fuck am I gonna do about it, you know, I gotta, yeah. But yeah, that's probably my favorite, you know. And then you got nuances, you know. You got like the, I guess more New England, Boston, you know. Hey father, you know. Hey father, yeah. I used to be, I'm not being smart, you know. If you plug the car by the Oyster Harbor, you know, I'm not being smart, although I was Walter Boy, you know. But I don't know. I mean, there are different nuances and possibilities of doing this. But yeah, and okay, and then here's another one interesting. Ian McCullen. He has a very very interesting sound. Let's do Ian McCullen. Author. Mary Magdalene never did such a thing, and the church made her into a prostitute in 600 Anno Domini. My God. To which I'm doing, Da Vinci's Code, to which Tom Hanks. No, for the life of me, whenever I do Tom Hanks, for some reason I end up doing Forrest Gump. My mama always told me life was like a box of chocolates. And then Jenny, my favorite Jenny, told me when I go to Vietnam, I should start running. So I started running, and I was running, and I got tired. I went home, back to Greensboro, Alabama. I don't know why whenever I think of Tom Hanks I end up going to this Forrest Gump mode, but it's one of the. And here's an interesting thing about one second, about Southern accents. Southern accents actually, believe it or not, originated, and nobody knows that. The twang. It's not part of any European, Indo-European sound, Germanic, Slavic, Balto-Slavic, Romance, Anglo-Saxon. It's actually Western Africa, believe it or not. And it actually, unfortunately, goes back to slavery. So some couple of 300 years ago, when slaves were brought from Western Africa into the South, and the slave women, the African slave women, would teach the owner's children the way they talk. So if you listen to the phonetic levels of Western Africa, of like Ghana, Liberia, Ivory Coast, they actually have that twang. So when you hear like, I don't care what you do, I'm only here for a little bit and I'm going to go home, you know, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about and stuff like that. So if you listen to that, the dialect, the phonetic levels, it's a very big characteristic of actually Western Africa. It's an interesting little thing that very little people actually know. So perfect, and then here's and here's an interesting also thing. So I'm actually here, by the way, I'm actually sort of drawing Nikola Tesla here. Yeah, so just kind of like Nikola Tesla. By the way, I'm working on a project called Tesla Beyond Imagination, and so I'm a big fan of Nikola Tesla, and just wanted to sort of represent kind of like But anyway, that and then so here Here we go. I just wanted to. So I'm trying to get the nose right and kind of like. Yeah, kind of like. When he was sort of, I don't know, my age, maybe 46, something like that, and then getting darker hair, but still graying. Yeah, he had darker hair than me, but he was graying, so, yeah. But anyways, yeah, so, kind of like, gonna do a little bit darker here, but, oh yeah, let's do, Mr. Mackey, okay? Mr. Mackey. See, you draw a little bit like this, okay? And what's your favorite, Eric Cartman?
Ma'am, but ma'am, you see, I want to do a little bit. Ma'am, can you go tomorrow to school and talk to Miss Mackey that Kyle is being mean to me? Ma'am.
Is that, would that be Cartman? But yeah, Mr. Mackey, right? And you're drawing here like Nikola Tesla, okay? Okay. And, okay, Nikola Tesla was a really brilliant scientist, okay? And who do we do also?
Family Guy.
Which, yeah, okay, now I'm all over the place because I was doing that.
Hey, Father, I don't want to be smart. Why don't you park the car by the Oyster Harbor?
So, but that, yeah, that's going more towards the Boston side. I'm thinking more like middle. I almost said Middle East, but not Middle East. I'm talking more like Midwest. But oh yeah, let's. Okay, so we have to. Yeah, huh? Yeah. Here. Okay, Scottish. All right. Tell me, Nico, which one should we do more? Huh? Yeah. What we haven't done? I can't even think. Oh yeah, Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean. Yeah. So there was this persona called somebody on BBC, but yeah, Rowan Atkinson. But it's more Mr. Bean. So Mr. Bean talking about my movie here. This 476 por causa de ontem. Yeah. In the year, a great year by the end of Roman Empire, in the year 476 Anno Domini. It was Whistler's mother that was drawn by, but although Whistler's mother was pompous old rag, she was his mother after all. And then going from, I don't know, characters like did we ever do Porky Pig? Let's do Porky Pig. Yeah, so there's also, yeah, here. Check. Wait one second. So we do the head like this, right? We do the ears. I haven't done this in a while, by the way, so I'm sort of doing this out of the memory. It's something like this, right? And then you have this kind of like nose, kind of like something like this. And yeah, Columbo, Peter Falk.
Yeah, ma'am. By the way, with all due respect, ma'am, I have something to say. You know, I don't want to be a drag, but you know, if I can have a moment of your time, there's something about
whatever. Huh? Yeah. Here. Do it here, Porky Pig. No. Here. Get up and see. This is something like this. So we have the Porky Pig, but then the same principle is what's that yellow bird in? I thought I taught with the what's here. Yeah, Tweety. Yeah. So it'll be also here, like this. Okay. Here we go. Wait a second. I thought I taught Putty Cat. I did. I thought Putty Cat. Here. Wait a second. Here. Okay. Same thing. So it's the same principle. You have two big eyes, and then you have Bugs Bunny and the whole thing. So it's It's all done in the same. Yeah, there you go. You know. Yeah, I thought Putty Cat. I did. I thought yeah. So this would be, so I do a little bit of this. But anyways, yeah, I can't think of anybody else who I would, yeah, I'll do the same thing. No, check. All right, so, all right, to be continued. All right, so this weekend we did multiple. Hey, dude, one more thing. Let me just, one more thing. Okay, just for the hell of it. We were talking fitfully in the Shakespearean British English of 18th century. So let's talk in Shakespearean English and read Shakespeare, but in a Brooklyn accent. So let's go Romeo and Juliet. Okay, Romeo and Juliet. Here. No, here. No. See that? Okay, this is the last one. Here. Romeo and Juliet, spoken in a Brooklyn accent. Odigora. Yeah. I come unknown, but if thou means it not well, I do beseech thee, madam, to seize the suit and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send, shall thrive my soul. 1,000 times good night. 1,000 times the ways to what the light. Love goes towards love as schoolboys from their books. What the fuck is that supposed to? But love from love towards school with heavy books or looks. And then Juliet says hissed. Romeo hissed. What the fuck? Oh, for false corner's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again. Bondage and fucking thing. It's Shakespeare's the spear. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But here's the thing. I don't give a thumpany fuck about your moral conundrum, you meat-headed shitsack. That's more or less another thing. I want you, nobody else. I'm your goddamn menace. I want you to go out there, and I want you to find and punish the man responsible for murdering this poor little rabbit. Have we understood? Help yourself to some good decent meat on the way up. Now get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that was my favorite impression of Daniel Day-Lewis game, Gangs of New York. So, anyways, okay, all right. Here, just show this. Oh, here, Tesla. Here we go. We'll say Nikola Tesla. I'll just say Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla. There we go. And until next time, my name is Ivan Pavletic, and that's Niko Pavletic over there. Yeah, okay, he doesn't want me to record. And that's that for this session, and then we'll do something else, I don't know, next weekend, I guess. So, here, show this. All right, ready? Yes, stop? Okay.